Hello everyone, and welcome back to NutriHub Bliss. Today, we're diving into a critical and highly practical topic for anyone living with arthritis. The foods you should avoid in order to manage inflammation, reduce pain, and improve your overall quality of life. Arthritis, whether osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, or other less common forms, affects millions of people around the world, bringing stiffness, swelling, and discomfort that can make simple daily tasks feel like monumental challenges. Although medications and physical therapies are essential for symptom management, the role of nutrition in modulating inflammatory pathways is equally powerful and often underappreciated. By making informed dietary choices, you can support your body's natural healing processes and experience greater comfort and mobility. At its core, arthritis is an inflammatory condition. Certain foods act as catalysts for inflammation, fueling the very fire that causes joint pain and accelerates tissue damage. On a biochemical level, pro-inflammatory foods can increase levels of cytokines such as interleukin-6 and tumor necrosis factor alpha, amplify oxidative stress, and promote the formation of advanced glycation end products, AGEs, that degrade collagen and cartilage. Conversely, anti-inflammatory nutrients, like omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and phytonutrients, help to balance these processes, calm immune responses, and protect joint tissues from excessive wear and tear. Understanding these mechanisms empowers you to curate a diet that works in harmony with your body's needs, rather than against them. In today's guide, we'll focus on 5 major food categories that research consistently links to heightened inflammation and worsened arthritis symptoms. Refined sugar, fried foods, red meat, dairy products, insensitive individuals, and processed convenience foods. Each of these groups can disrupt metabolic balance or trigger specific inflammatory cascades, making joints more prone to pain, swelling, and stiffness. By examining the science behind these effects and offering practical, evidence-based alternatives, we aim to provide you with actionable strategies that fit seamlessly into your daily routine. Whether you're looking to reduce a sudden flare-up or seeking long-term relief, these insights will help you make smarter, more nourishing food choices. At NutriHub Bliss, we blend rigorous scientific evidence with practical, real-world strategies delivered in a warm, supportive tone. We understand that every individual's experience with arthritis is unique, influenced by factors like age, genetics, activity level, and existing health conditions. That's why our recommendations are designed to be adaptable. You can scale up or down based on your personal preferences, dietary restrictions, and tolerance levels. Whether you're vegan, vegetarian, or omnivorous, you'll find options that fit your lifestyle and support your journey toward reduced inflammation and enhanced joint function. This isn't about rigid elimination or an all-or-nothing approach. Instead, think of it as a targeted, personalized strategy. Minimize exposure to the most problematic foods while maximizing intake of nutrient-dense alternatives that support joint health. For example, replacing refined sugar with fresh fruit or a small amount of raw honey can stabilize blood glucose and reduce AGEs. Swapping deep-fried items for grilled or baked preparations limits trans fat intake and promotes better circulation. And opting for plant-based milk alternatives can provide calcium and vitamin D without the inflammatory casein found in some dairy products. We'll explore these swaps in detail, so you can create a sustainable, arthritis-friendly eating plan. To get the most out of this guide, I encourage you to take notes or keep a food journal as we go. You don't need to transform your entire diet overnight. Even small, consistent changes can add up to significant improvements in how you feel. As you work through each section, jot down the key takeaways and consider how you might incorporate them into your meals and snacks this week. You'll find that many of these recommendations not only help manage arthritis, but also promote overall health, energy, and well-being. Now, let's jump right into our first topic, refined sugar. A ubiquitous ingredient that many of us consume daily without realizing its impact on joint health. We'll explore how sugar drives inflammation at the molecular level, why it accelerates cartilage breakdown, and what delicious, nutrient-rich alternatives you can enjoy instead. 1. Refined sugar. Refined sugar, often labeled as sucrose, high-fructose corn syrup, cane sugar, or evaporated cane juice, is ubiquitous in modern diets. From sodas, sweetened beverages, and baked goods to sauces, dressings, and even savory processed snacks, added sugars hide in plain sight. The average person in many Western countries consumes well over 70 grams of added sugar daily, far exceeding the World Health Organization's recommendation of less than 25 grams for optimal health. For individuals managing arthritis, this rampant intake poses a significant concern, as sugar's effects extend beyond empty calories to potent inflammatory triggers that can exacerbate joint pain and stiffness. Recognizing where sugar lurks in your meals and snacks is the first step toward mitigating its harmful impact on your joints and overall health. When you consume large amounts of refined sugar, your blood glucose levels spike rapidly, prompting a surge of insulin to shuttle glucose into cells. This repeated cycle of hyperglycemia and hyperinsulinemia can provoke the production of pro-inflammatory markers such as C-reactive protein, CRP, interleukin-6, IL-6, and tumor necrosis factor alpha, TNF-A. Studies have demonstrated that high sugar intake correlates with elevated CRP levels, a well-established biomarker of systemic inflammation linked to worsened arthritis symptoms and accelerated joint degradation. Additionally, sugar can activate the NF-κB signaling pathway, a master regulator of inflammation, further amplifying the release of cytokines that sensitize nerve endings in and around joints, heightening pain perception and discomfort during movement. Beyond its immediate inflammatory effects, refined sugar also contributes to the formation of advanced glycation end products, AGEs. These compounds result from non-enzymatic reactions between sugar molecules and proteins, lipids, or nucleic acids, leading to cross-linked, stiffened tissue structures. In joint cartilage, AGEs accumulate within collagen fibers, reducing their elasticity and resilience. As the cartilage matrix becomes more rigid, it loses its ability to absorb shock and maintain smooth articulation between bones, increasing friction and wear. Over time, AG-driven cartilage breakdown accelerates osteoarthritis progression, while glycation of synovial fluid proteins can impair joint lubrication, compounding stiffness and pain. Minimizing sugar intake is thus critical to slowing this biochemical cascade and preserving joint integrity. Refined sugar's influence extends into metabolic health, where it plays a central role in weight gain and insulin resistance. Excess caloric intake from sugary foods and drinks can lead to central adiposity, a condition characterized by increased fat around the abdomen. Adipose tissue is not merely inert storage, it acts as an endocrine organ, secreting adipokines like leptin and resistin that promote inflammatory pathways. Elevated leptin levels, for example, have been linked to cartilage degeneration in animal models, suggesting a direct mechanistic link between obesity and joint damage. Moreover, carrying extra body weight places greater mechanical stress on weight-bearing joints such as the knees and hips, compounding inflammation with physical strain. Reducing sugar consumption is thus a dual strategy to limit both biochemical and biomechanical drivers of arthritis pain. So, what can you do instead of reaching for that sugary snack or soda? Start by embracing natural, nutrient-rich alternatives. Fresh berries, cherries, and citrus fruits provide sweetness alongside antioxidants and fiber, which slow glucose absorption and attenuate blood sugar spikes. A small drizzle of raw honey or pure maple syrup can enhance flavor in moderation, while stevia or monk fruit extracts offer zero-calorie sweetness without the metabolic consequences. Incorporate cinnamon, vanilla extract, or cocoa powder into your recipes to evoke sweetness and warmth without added sugar. When baking, experiment with applesauce or mashed bananas as partial sugar substitutes. By gradually reducing the sugar content in your favorite foods and drinks, you'll recalibrate your taste buds and curb inflammation, all while enjoying satisfying flavors that support your joint health. Number 2. Fried foods. Fried foods occupy a prominent place in many diets, prized for their crispy texture and satisfying flavors. From classic French fries and fried chicken to donuts, onion rings, and tempura vegetables, these indulgent treats are often the go-to comfort foods after a long day. Unfortunately, the very process that delivers their signature crunch, submerging ingredients in hot oil, can transform otherwise nutritious foods into potent pro-inflammatory agents. The repeated use of oil at high temperatures, combined with certain oil types, results in the formation of harmful compounds that can exacerbate arthritis symptoms. For individuals seeking to manage joint inflammation, minimizing or eliminating fried foods is a critical dietary step. A primary concern with fried foods is their high content of trans fats and excessive saturated fats, both of which are strongly linked to inflammation. Trans fats, often found in partially hydrogenated oils, promote systemic inflammation by altering cell membrane fluidity and upregulating inflammatory cytokine production. Saturated fats, particularly those from animal sources or palm oil, can activate toll-like receptor 4, TLR4, on immune cells, triggering downstream signaling pathways that release pro-inflammatory mediators such as interleukin-1 beta, IL-1 beta. These inflammatory signals not only heighten joint swelling and pain, but also contribute to cartilage degradation over time. Even small amounts of trans and saturated fats, when consumed regularly, can tip the balance toward chronic inflammation. Beyond the composition of the oil itself, the high-heat cooking process generates oxidation products and free radicals that further amplify oxidative stress within the body. When oils exceed their smoke point, triglycerides break down into aldehydes and lipid peroxides, compounds that can damage cellular structures and DNA. These reactive species increase the production of reactive oxygen species, ROS, in the bloodstream, overwhelming the body's natural antioxidant defenses. In joints already burdened by inflammatory processes, excess ROS can accelerate cartilage breakdown, impair synovial fluid quality, and sensitize pain receptors. For individuals with arthritis, the oxidative burden from fried foods can significantly worsen symptoms and undermine long-term joint health. Fried foods also have indirect effects on joint health by impacting cardiovascular function and circulation. Diets high in trans and saturated fats contribute to elevated low-density lipoprotein, LDL, cholesterol, arterial plaque formation, and reduced vascular elasticity. As arteries become stiffer and narrower, blood flow to peripheral tissues, including the synovium and cartilage in your joints, can become compromised. Poor circulation limits the delivery of oxygen, nutrients, and immune cells needed for tissue repair and inflammation resolution. Over time, this diminished perfusion exacerbates stiffness, pain, and reduced mobility in arthritic joints. Maintaining a heart-healthy diet is therefore inseparable from preserving joint function. Fortunately, you don't have to sacrifice flavor or satisfaction to protect your joints. Healthier cooking methods, such as baking, grilling, steaming, air frying, or sautéing with a small amount of extra virgin olive oil, can deliver delicious results without the inflammatory drawbacks. For instance, try oven-baked sweet potato wedges tossed with smoked paprika and garlic powder. Or grill lean chicken breasts marinated in lemon, herbs, and a touch of olive oil. Vegetable stir-fries cooked quickly over medium heat with a splash of toasted sesame oil and fresh ginger provide plenty of texture and taste. Investing in an air fryer can also replicate the crispiness of deep-fried foods using minimal oil. By making these simple swaps, you'll reduce your intake of trans and oxidized fats, support healthy circulation, and enjoy meals that both nourish your body and delight your palate. 3. Red meat. Red meat, including beef, pork, and lamb, has long been a dietary staple for its rich flavor, high protein content, and supply of essential nutrients like iron, zinc, and B vitamins. However, for individuals managing arthritis, consuming large quantities of red meat can pose significant challenges. The high levels of saturated fats in many cuts of red meat are associated with pro-inflammatory effects, while certain compounds formed during cooking, such as advanced glycation end products, AGEs, and heterocyclic amines, HCAs, can further exacerbate joint inflammation. Balancing the nutritional benefits of red meat with its potential to fuel inflammatory pathways is crucial for protecting your joints and overall health. Saturated fats found in red meat can activate innate immune receptors like toll-like receptor 4, TLR4, triggering a cascade of inflammatory signals that increase the production of cytokines such as interleukin-1 beta, IL-1 beta, and tumor necrosis factor alpha, TNF-A. These cytokines promote synovial inflammation, leading to the swelling, pain, and stiffness characteristic of arthritic flare-ups. Moreover, diets high in saturated fats are linked to increased levels of low-density lipoprotein, LDL, cholesterol, which can oxidize and contribute to systemic oxidative stress. In the context of arthritis, this oxidative burden can damage joint cartilage and impair the body's ability to resolve inflammation, making it harder to maintain mobility and comfort. Another concern with red meat is its purine content. Purines are natural compounds that break down into uric acid during digestion. While moderate uric acid levels help neutralize free radicals, excessive accumulation can lead to the formation of monosodium urate crystals in the joints, a painful condition known as gout. Although gout is a distinct form of arthritis, elevated uric acid levels can also contribute to low-grade inflammation in other arthritic conditions, compounding joint pain and reducing range of motion. For those prone to hyperuricemia, moderating purine-rich foods like organ meats, game meats, and certain seafood is an important strategy for preventing painful flare-ups. Cooking methods can further influence the inflammatory potential of red meat. High-heat techniques such as grilling, broiling, or pan-searing can generate heterocyclic amines, HCAs, and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, PAHs, compounds formed when amino acids and creatinine react under intense heat. These chemicals have been shown to increase oxidative stress and activate pro-inflammatory gene expression in animal studies. Additionally, red meat is a significant source of heme iron, which, in excess, can catalyze the formation of reactive oxygen species, ROS, and contribute to oxidative damage in joint tissues. While heme iron is vital for oxygen transport, balancing your intake with antioxidant-rich foods can help mitigate its pro-oxidative effects. To enjoy protein while minimizing inflammation, consider substituting red meat with leaner options and plant-based proteins. Poultry, especially skinless chicken or turkey, offers high-quality protein with lower saturated fat content. Fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, sardines, and trout provide anti-inflammatory omega-3 fatty acids, EPA and DHA, that have been shown to reduce joint swelling and stiffness in clinical studies. Plant-based proteins such as lentils, chickpeas, tofu, and tempeh not only supply protein but also deliver fiber, antioxidants, and phytonutrients that support gut health and immune balance. Try a Mediterranean-inspired bowl with grilled salmon, quinoa, roasted vegetables, and a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil, or a hearty lentil stew seasoned with turmeric and black pepper. These alternatives help you maintain muscle mass and energy levels while protecting your joints from inflammatory insults. Number 4. Dairy products. Dairy products such as milk, cheese, yogurt, and butter are often praised for their high calcium, protein, and vitamin D content, nutrients essential for bone health and muscle function. Yet for some individuals with arthritis, particularly those with sensitivities to dairy proteins or lactose intolerance, these foods can inadvertently contribute to joint inflammation and discomfort. The response to dairy varies widely among individuals, influenced by genetics, gut microbiota composition, and immune system reactivity. Understanding how dairy might affect your symptoms can help you determine whether to moderate your intake or seek suitable alternatives that support both bone strength and inflammatory balance. A key component of dairy that can provoke inflammation is casein, the predominant milk protein. Casein exists in several forms, with A1 and A2 variants differing by a single amino acid. Some studies suggest that A1 casein may break down into beta-casomorphin 7, BCM7, a peptide that can stimulate immune cells and trigger pro-inflammatory cytokine release in susceptible individuals. While research on the A1 versus A2 debate is ongoing, Anecdotal reports indicate that switching to A2-only dairy products or fermented forms like yogurt and kefir can reduce joint pain and gastrointestinal distress in some people. If you notice flare-ups after consuming milk, experimenting with A2 products or eliminating dairy temporarily may provide valuable insights into your personal tolerance. Lactose, the natural sugar in milk, can also cause problems for those with lactase deficiency, a condition in which the small intestine produces insufficient lactase enzyme to break down lactose. Undigested lactose ferments in the colon, leading to gas, bloating, and an altered gut microbiome. Emerging evidence suggests that gut dysbiosis, an imbalance in intestinal bacteria, can influence systemic inflammation and may exacerbate autoimmune conditions like rheumatoid arthritis. By causing gastrointestinal distress and promoting a pro-inflammatory gut environment, lactose intolerance can indirectly worsen joint symptoms. If you suspect lactose intolerance, try lactose-free dairy products or reduce intake of high-lactose items such as ice cream and soft cheeses, and monitor your symptoms over several weeks. Even if you tolerate dairy proteins and lactose, the saturated fat content in full-fat dairy products can still be a concern for arthritis management. Saturated fats, particularly palmitic acid found in butter and cream, can upregulate inflammatory pathways similar to those activated by red meat. Some epidemiological studies have linked high consumption of full-fat dairy with increased markers of inflammation, though others suggest that fermented dairy may have neutral or even beneficial effects due to probiotic content. Balancing your intake by choosing low-fat or fermented dairy products, such as Greek yogurt, kefir, or aged cheeses like Parmesan, can help you reap the nutritional benefits while minimizing pro-inflammatory triggers. If you find that dairy aggravates your arthritis symptoms, plant-based milk alternatives and cultured products offer versatile options. Unsweetened almond milk provides a mild flavor and delivers vitamin E and healthy fats without casein or lactose. Soy milk is rich in protein and contains phytoestrogens that may have anti-inflammatory properties, while oat milk offers fiber and beta-glucans for gut health. For cheese alternatives, look for products made from cashews or almonds, and for yogurt substitutes, choose coconut or soy-based cultures fortified with calcium and vitamin D. When selecting plant-based options, prioritize unsweetened varieties and check labels for added sugars or oils. By exploring these alternatives, you can maintain adequate calcium and vitamin D intake while keeping inflammation in check. Number 5. Processed foods. Processed foods, ranging from ready-to-eat frozen meals and canned soups to snack bars, deli meats, and packaged baked goods, dominate grocery store aisles and kitchen pantries. While these items offer unparalleled convenience, they often come at the cost of high levels of refined ingredients, preservatives, and additives that can fuel inflammation. For those managing arthritis, reliance on processed convenience foods can undermine joint health by exposing the body to excess sodium, unhealthy fats, simple carbohydrates, and artificial chemicals. Developing an awareness of how processed foods impact your inflammatory status is a critical step toward regaining control over your diet and symptoms. One of the most concerning aspects of processed foods is their elevated sodium content. To enhance flavor and extend shelf life, manufacturers frequently add large amounts of salt, leading to daily sodium intakes that far exceed recommended limits. High sodium levels can promote water retention, increasing joint swelling and stiffness, while also contributing to hypertension. Elevated blood pressure places additional strain on blood vessels, impairing nutrient and oxygen delivery to joint tissues and hindering the removal of inflammatory waste products. By contrast, a lower sodium diet supports better fluid balance, healthier blood pressure, and reduced edema in arthritic joints. Processed foods are also stripped of essential vitamins, minerals, and fiber, leaving behind mostly refined carbohydrates, unhealthy fats, and added sugars. These empty calories contribute to weight gain and metabolic disturbances without providing the nutrients needed for tissue repair and immune regulation. A lack of dietary fiber, in particular, can negatively affect gut health by limiting the production of short-chain fatty acids, compounds that nourish colon cells and modulate inflammation. When your diet consists heavily of processed options, you may miss out on phytonutrients such as flavonoids, carotenoids, and polyphenols, all of which exhibit potent anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effects, crucial for protecting joint tissues. In addition to macronutrient imbalances, processed foods often contain artificial additives, preservatives, flavor enhancers like monosodium glutamate, MSG, artificial colors, and synthetic sweeteners that can trigger inflammatory responses in sensitive individuals. While regulatory agencies consider many of these additives safe at approved levels, some people experience heightened immune activation or allergic reactions that exacerbate arthritis symptoms. For example, nitrites in processed meats can convert to nitrosamines, compounds linked to oxidative stress and inflammation, while certain food dyes have been associated with immune dysregulation. Reading labels carefully and minimizing exposure to artificial chemicals can help you identify personal triggers and reduce unnecessary inflammatory burden. To break free from the processed food cycle, prioritize fresh, whole ingredients and embrace simple meal preparation techniques. Batch cook lean proteins like chicken, turkey, or beans. Roast a variety of colorful vegetables, and cook whole grains such as brown rice or quinoa to have versatile building blocks on hand. Spice your dishes with anti-inflammatory herbs and spices, turmeric, ginger, garlic, and rosemary, to add depth of flavor without relying on processed seasonings. Homemade soups, stews, and salads allow you to control sodium levels and ingredient quality, while easy snack options like sliced cucumbers with hummus, apple slices with almond butter, or a handful of mixed nuts can curb cravings between meals. By shifting your focus to nutrient-dense, minimally processed foods, you'll create a sustainable eating pattern that supports joint health and overall vitality. Arthritis management is a multifaceted endeavor that extends far beyond prescription medications and physical therapy. As we've explored today, your dietary choices wield tremendous power over the inflammatory processes that drive joint pain, swelling, and stiffness. By reducing or eliminating refined sugars, fried foods, red meat, dairy products, when problematic, and highly processed convenience foods, you can significantly decrease the biochemical triggers of inflammation and slow the progression of cartilage breakdown. This targeted approach not only eases acute flare-ups, but also supports long-term joint integrity, helping you preserve mobility and enjoy a more active lifestyle. Importantly, swapping out these inflammatory culprits doesn't mean sacrificing taste or variety. Embracing whole, nutrient-dense alternatives, like fresh fruits and berries in place of sugary snacks, grilled, baked, or air-fried foods instead of deep-fried options, fatty fish, poultry, and plant-based proteins instead of red meat, unsweetened plant milks and fermented dairy instead of full-fat cow's milk, and home-cooked meals over packaged convenience foods can transform your eating experience. These substitutions not only reduce your exposure to pro-inflammatory compounds, but also flood your body with vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and healthy fats that promote tissue repair, immune balance, and cardiovascular health. Over time, you'll likely notice decreased joint pain, increased flexibility, and improved energy levels. Every individual's journey with arthritis is unique, influenced by genetics, activity levels, coexisting health conditions, and even gut microbiota composition. What works wonderfully for one person may require fine-tuning for another. That's why it's essential to adopt a personalized approach. Monitor how your body responds to different foods, adjust portion sizes, and consider professional guidance when needed. Consulting with a registered dietitian, nutritionist, or rheumatologist can provide tailored insights based on blood work, dietary preferences, and lifestyle factors. Additionally, keeping a simple food and symptom journal can help you identify specific triggers and patterns, empowering you to make informed adjustments that maximize your comfort and well-being. To put these strategies into action, start with small, achievable goals. Choose one food category, perhaps refined sugar, and commit to reducing your intake by half over the next week. Replace sodas and sugary beverages with infused water, herbal teas, or sparkling water with fresh citrus. In week 2, tackle fried foods by experimenting with air frying or oven baking your favorite snacks. Gradually introduce more fish, legumes, and plant proteins in place of red meat, and explore dairy alternatives if you suspect sensitivity. Plan your meals in advance, batch cook staples, and keep healthy snacks within easy reach. These incremental steps foster sustainable habits that integrate seamlessly into your daily life. If you found today's guide on top foods to avoid for managing arthritis valuable, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with friends or family members who might benefit, and subscribe to NutriHub Bliss for more science-backed nutrition tips. Hit the notification bell so you never miss our weekly deep dives into wellness, from anti-inflammatory recipes and meal planning hacks to lifestyle strategies that support healthy aging. We also encourage you to leave a comment below. Which food swap are you most excited to try? Have you discovered any personal triggers or success stories you'd like to share? Your experiences enrich our community and inspire others on their journey to better health. Thank you for joining me on NutriHub Bliss today. Remember, managing arthritis through diet is not about perfection. It's about progress. Each thoughtful choice you make, no matter how small, brings you closer to a life with less pain and more freedom of movement. Embrace the journey with patience and curiosity. Celebrate your victories and learn from any setbacks. Your body has remarkable capacity for healing and adaptation when given the right support. Here's to nourishing your joints, nurturing your well-being, and living each day with vitality and joy. Until next time, stay vibrant, stay curious, and stay nourished on NutriHub Bliss.